In this video, we will be doing one more interesting Power BI project for personal budget and finance management. Now, this is something where you can take your own monthly expenses. Let's say you are earning 50,000 bucks every month, and out of that, you're spending 3,000 on your mortgage, 500 on your mobile bill, groceries, and various expenses that you have. You can maintain all those numbers in an Excel file, and you can then use that into Power BI to build the dashboard, which can tell you, okay, what is your spending pattern, how are you spending money, how are you saving money, what is your net worth, are you meeting your saving target or not. We'll also build tooltips in Power BI, by which if you don't have too much like area to put all your UI controls, you can build additional UI controls and show them as a form in form of a tooltip. So we'll cover all of that as well. I have done this project in collaboration with my good friend Hemanand Vadivel, who is a data analyst manager working for a company based in UK. He's managing a team of data analysts. So this project is done by someone who is in the industry for so many years and someone who is very experienced. So this project will give you a feeling of how projects are executed in corporate environment as well. And the most interesting thing is there is a giveaway. So at the end of the project, we'll give you some assignment, you do the assignment, and then the winners will get the prizes. This project will help you achieve multiple goals. The obvious goal is, of course, you want to learn Power BI, but there are other more important things that it will help you with, such as embedding data analytics into your daily life. This is something you will be using in your day-to-day life. You are your own client. Second thing is bring your own data, BYOD. Here the data generated is by you only. You don't have to rely on the external source. And then financial literacy at the very early age. If you follow this project in your life, you will build financial literacy and it will help you build wealth. So there are numerous benefits of this project, and we'll be answering some of the common questions, such as a person, you want to know what is my net worth, how the net worth is growing or it is reducing year over year, if my spending pattern is right, am I reaching my saving target, which months I'm financially bad or good, and how do I spend and save. Yeah, so we have Hemanand here with us. So Hemanand is a data analyst. I'm client who is building this dashboard with the help of this data analyst, and so that's the role that we are going to play. It will be a live interactive session, and Hemanand will ask me questions and as if I'm a client, and we will be building this dashboard interactively. So Hemanand has this file open. I gave this file to him. These are like my monthly expenses and so on. So yeah, Hemanand, you can now go over this and just start asking me questions.
Thank you, Deval. Hi everyone. So this is going to be a very interesting project, and I know Deval is not an easy client, so you might have some requests, and I mean you would try to explain everything why he's doing. So it's going to be really interesting. So the Excel file I have on the screen, as you could see, this is a template that we are using. That's something Deval is using, but you can modify it. For example, you might have more parameters in your income. You might have an income three, so you simply add a new row here, make it income and create a source three. So that should be working. And you can add more parameters to your expense. You can add more parameters to your, you might want to have an expense parameter like you have something like like eating out, something like that. So you could add it and make sure you enter the numbers there. So as in more and more parameters you add, it's going to be more really easy for you to to have this financial discipline, which is the hidden agenda of this project. And and the view here is it's monthly, so so that it's easy to enter the data for every month, every new month. So when you have to add a new month here, you simply pull this thing to add a new month, and this is you can change it and then add the data there. So so this Excel file you can modify to your needs. And so let me now jump to the Power BI to import the data from Excel, and let's see what happens. I'm going to go to get data, get my data from Excel. And this is my database. I'm going to open it. So what it is going to show me. Okay, it's going to show me the table, the name of the table that I have in Excel file. So if I go to the Excel file, you could see that the name of the table is fin data. So you need to exactly load that. I cannot simply load this Excel file because it is not in a flat file format that is best efficient for Power BI. So I'm going to make some transformations, very minor ones. So I'm going to transform data. So guys, this is Power Query screen where you can do a lot of transformations. And this again is not very complicated. You can, you can just start learning this with your knowledge of Excel. And what I want to do is like, I want to bring all my, all my date into the column. So I'm going to select all my dates and go to transform and say unpivot columns. So you see that all my data has now become into my column, and I'm going to rename the attribute to date. So this is my date column now, and the value shall remain as a value. And in here, I'm going to say this is a fixed decimal number so that it's a currency. And what else I need? Okay, I need to have a column which says what is the year, So I'm going to add. I'm going to go to the add column section here, and there is a thing called date. I'm going to say give me. Okay, I got to change this to date first. As you could see, the year thing is not highlighted, so I need to change this to date. I'll change this to date, and now I would be able to do the year. And I will keep this to text. I'll because once you keep this to numbers, the numbers keep adding up, and you don't want that. You want to have it like a text. All right. So these are my transformations. You could do a whole lot of transformations. Let's say that you have multiple tables or multiple queries or data coming from different sources. This is a place where you could mash up all the data, but here our requirements are very small. We don't need to do all those crazy things. So let's keep it simple. And I'm gonna close and apply. All right, I've got my data set now. So this is, I'm very excited to start creating the dashboard, but I don't want to start creating my dashboard straight away. I want to mock the dashboard, understanding the needs of my client, my stakeholder. It is highly understated as to how important it is to gather the requirements or to mock the dashboard in a PowerPoint or in any tool that you want to use. So I'm going to take a PowerPoint here, and I'm going to ask I'm going to give the floor to Dhaval now. Let him explain what he wants to see in the dashboard, what he wants to see in his dashboard, what is the most important thing to him, and so that we can design the dashboard in the PowerPoint first.
Sure. So the first thing I would like to see is the KPI, the key performance indicators, which can tell me what is my income, and out of that income, how much percentage is my expense. And I want to see this in a timeline fashion. So year over year, I want some kind of selection where I can say, okay, 2019 versus 2020, what was my income? If I select 2019, what was my income? What was my percentage expense? Or even my net worth, because I'm always curious to know what was my net worth in 2019 versus 2020.
All right. So if I understand correctly, so, this is a place where, no, I would just rather put this instead. So guys, if you ask me, the most important thing of the dashboard should always go to the top left, because that's where your eye catches attention immediately. So I would put all the KPIs what defined here. So as a markup, so I will just write what he wants to see. So he wants to see the net worth, and he wants to see the income, is savings percentage, and expense percentage. So he has like 4 KPIs that he wants to see on the top left. And so would you, I mean, you mentioned about selections, Dhaval. So let me also put the selections here. So you can
Yes.
the selections on the top right would be my my go-to place, because people can just select something on the top and see something on the bottom immediately. So that kind of helps. So I'm going to make this a slightly different color. So do you want to see both years and months, or just the years? Or I think both years and months would
Yes.
help.
Years and month. Yeah, that might be better.
Perfect. So, all right. And so since you said you want to see based on your selection, so let's say you're selecting in the year 2020, you would see the KPIs would,
Yeah.
would show you the data for 2020. But do you want to compare the 2020 data to the all-time data, to the overall data? Would that be something of your interest? Because if you select one particular month, it will show you the data for one particular month. But at the same time, you can see your overall wealth or overall, overall
Yeah.
income and everything.
Having that kind
Yeah.
of time chart will be useful for sure.
Cool. So I'm gonna have like this KPI part split into two. So one will be for the selection. So whatever you select here, this KPI would react to that, and this KPI would be stagnant. This would be this would remain the same throughout whatever selections you make. This will keep showing you the overall wealth, overall income, overall expense ratio, and all the stuff. So this is
Perfect.
going to be all time. All right. And great. So I think we have got the most important piece covered, and I think I will kind of put a title here so that it gives a context to what we are looking at. All right. And then so once you see all these things, so this is not like interactive. So if you click something here, the other things won't change. But on this place, you could have something interactive, like or here you could have some graphs. What else would be more interesting to you? I would let you talk
Sure.
about that.
So I'll tell you my requirement, and since you are an expert, maybe you can give me some suggestions. So I always look at my expense breakdown, like how much I'm spending on my rent versus electricity versus, I have this bad habit of buying stuff from Amazon. I have Amazon Prime. I just go there and order stuff, and sometimes I tend to overspend. So
Yes,
if there is like a monthly breakdown, like a pie chart which says 80% going into rent or 10% going into whatever my electronics purchase, so that kind of breakdown would be useful.
great. So that's interesting. So what I would do is like I would put a place where you can see the expenses.
Hmm.
So this would be your expense percentage or expense. Let's call it expense allocation. Where do you
Expense
allocate your
allocation or
expenses?
breakdown, yeah.
Expense breakdown. Yeah, I think that's a better word.
I also want to see, by the way, like where I'm saving, because sometimes I save into my bank account, and with the Fed printing so much money, I feel like cash is stress, so I should be putting some money in mutual funds and some some
That's right on the money. I mean, more than as important as your seeing your expenses. From my experience, it's also important to see the savings percentage as well. Because what happens normally is like we might think that we are not spending as much as last month I might have spent like 20,000. This month I'm spending 15,000, but this month my income might have increased. I'm thinking, I'm just spending, just a little bit, but it's always good to see the percentage, both the expense and the savings, so that you know how much percentage you're saving based on what you earn.
yes.
Great. So we could do that. I mean, going back to the Excel. So here you have the component of what are your savings and what are your expenses, so that you can
Right.
have the percentage. And I mean, this sheet, you can automate it based on your bank account statements. There are ways to do that. But I mean, personally, I would like to keep it this way so that you will spend some time every month. Go to the Excel file, look into your
Mm-hmm.
statements, and try to put it, try to put it every month. So there is some time spent here, but I think it's totally worth it. So that this this experience is, I think, is much needed for everyone to know where they're spending their money, how much they're earning, and this has to, people might not have to think that, okay, I'm not earning this much right now. Why do I have to do this? But even if you're earning 10,000 or 5,000 or even 1,000 rupees per month, I'll recommend this to do this because this is the same for 1,000 rupees, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs. This is the same principle. It's all about the percentages. It's not about the absolute value.
Yep, makes total sense.
Great. So let's make this page kind of half. All right.
Now,
So
I want to say one more thing, which is
mhm,
I have another bad habit. I have so many bad habits, and I'm in year 2021 when it started. I took this resolution that I want to get my financial discipline right. So
mhm,
whenever I get a bonus or
mhm.
some unexpected earning, I have this habit of spending my money. So let's say if I get a raise in my salary, I think, oh, I'm earning this much. So then I tend to increase, like I buy some expensive electronic item and I have this habit. So is there a way I can track it down? Like, okay, my income is increasing, but my expense is also increasing. And my goal is, as my income increases, I want to increase my saving. I don't want to increase my expense. So
That
is
is,
there a way we
yeah.
can build some chart which can give me those indications?
I think Noel, what you're asking is to see, like whenever you have increase in your expenses, you want to see, or let's say that you have a steady income and you have an increase in your income. At the same time, you want to see whether your expense is increasing as well and your savings is increasing as well. Ideally, your expense can increase, but your savings should also increase at the same time. The percentage
Yes.
of savings should also increase. But let's see if that's not the case. I mean, the first thing is like currently you're not sure about on which months or on which purpose you were doing this, but you kind of understand generally that you're doing things like that. But if you put it on the numbers won't lie, so you can exactly see on which month you are doing this kind of thing. Maybe there is a pattern, there is a habit that you need to break down. So let's put that into the data. So what we need here, let me. Okay, this is going to be interesting. So what you need here is like kind of your uh, expense percentage and your uh, savings percentage with income with with change in income
Hmm.
month on month. Like, so let's track how much your income is changing every month. Ideally, it might not change every month, but it might have some peaks on the graph. And whenever you have an increase in the income, let's see how you're doing with your expense and savings. So I think this graph would give us that information for sure. So let's put it this way. I mean, I mean, this is let's currently space it out like this and see what happens later. And the last phase here, I mean, before you might, before you will tell your requirement, I would recommend to keep it more for details, like
Hmm.
your entire statement. Let's say you select a particular month and you see the entire details of that month, and maybe you are for a particular month you're finding that you are spending a lot of money. So if you click the chart, the bottom page, the bottom area should show you the details. This is more like drilling down from top to bottom, so you get to
Hmm.
the insights in 3 clicks kind of stuff. So,
Sure.
but do you have anything else to see there, or would you agree with what I
No, I
recommend?
think, yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I was running out of ideas, and I think you give me a good idea that if I have kind of table kind of thing where,
Yes.
because so far what
Mhm.
we covered is mostly percentage items, but if I see absolute
Yes.
numbers on here is my
Okay.
income, 10,000 is my income, 5,000 is my expense, and 5,000 is my saving. So that,
Yes.
and then breakdown, that kind of table would definitely be helpful.
All right. And I want to also let you know one more thing. Also, since as you could see, the page is full. Don't worry. You don't have to think like you can't put any more things in here. we could always use tooltips. So by tooltips, what I mean is like, let's say that you have an expense breakdown here, but you want to see more details of a particular expense type. Like let's say there is an EMI, and you want to see how much I'm spending on EMI every month over the years. So if you want to see such information, it's definitely not possible to put in here as you see it's already full. We can have a
Oh,
tooltip. We can have a
okay.
tooltip where you can hover your mouse. You can just put your mouse like this, and it will bring up a chart. It will pop up a chart and show you the thing. So maybe you don't have to tell me right now. While we are building a dashboard, you can tell me if you have some requirement like that, so we can put it. So currently, I'm just gonna pull
Perfect.
it like more like a detailed statement. So this is going to be my reference point. So I'm always going to come back to this and have a look at what you said. So even so for people who are freshers and who are looking for opportunities, this is very very similar to the real life scenario working in a company. So you would have such kind of discussion with your stakeholder. It is very important that you absolutely capture the purpose of the dashboard. So it is very easy to get misled, to create something fancy, to create something pretty. You can add a lot of stuff. You can really build something that looks great. But at the end of the day, you have to always check whether this is useful for the person or whether this meets the purpose of what it is meant to be. So always sit with the stakeholder and understand what exactly they need. What is the purpose? The purpose might be really simple. You don't have to use some crazy measures or crazy visuals. You don't have to use some pretty visuals all the time. So it's always just start with the basics, keep it simple. And I think we have a really simple but yet powerful dashboard here. All right, so let's go back to Power BI Dhaval if you agree. So if you still have some more
Yeah,
things to add here.
this looks like a perfect plan. I think good that we did it, because through the mocking before you actually start the work, I now have a good understanding of what we are going to have as a final product. And while you are
Okay,
building, we can always revise. These mockups are not perfect, but they give you overall
yes,
idea. So while we build it, we can revise it. But yeah, this looks perfect. Now we can start
yes,
building it.
yes. Okay. So yeah, and again, normally we go offline and we build the stuff and come back to the to review. But since
Stakeholder.
the purpose here is not very complicated, it's pretty straightforward. You are very clear with what you need. So let's try to do it live, like live. I would be building some formulas while you are watching, so might get boring. So
Sure.
I'm just gonna give a shout for that right now. But let's keep it interesting. Let's try to. I mean, for me, while I'm building a dashboard, while I'm building some stuff for the user, I always ask questions like why they need it, what is the purpose. For me, it gives a sense of a bigger picture. So when I get a sense of a bigger picture, I tend to work much more efficiently because I know this is being used somewhere for some reason. Rather, not asking any questions. Okay, if you tell me what to do, I will get the job done. That's the style of working, but I don't prefer that. I prefer to ask questions and be curious and understand what they're doing. So I will be asking questions on what exactly you're going to see, or also give you some anecdotes from my experience, like what this can be used for and how you can use this differently. Great. So let's start building. Okay, the first step I would do is I want to create a separate folder for all my formulas. So I'm going to create a table, and I'm going to call this. Sorry, do you see my Power BI screen? That's
Yes.
something I want. All right. Okay, I'm going to call it measures, or let's call it uh, key measures. Going to load this. So this is a workaround to create a folder for formulas. Power BI doesn't have a thing for that yet. So the first measure I'm going to create is my what I'm going to create. So I'm going to create like a values measure. I will tell you why I'm doing this later. It's simple measure like sum of all the values in my data sheet, right? And these values I'm going to make it to currency, and yeah, I'm going to make it to Indian rupees. So this is the hardest part of finding this. I always stumble to find this on the sheet. Okay. Okay, I found something with rupees. I'm going to click that. So the next measure I'm going to create is my income. I'm going to call it total income, and it's going to be sum of all the values. So if you could revise this formula, I will show you. So this is my table. So this is my value table. So I need my income needs to be sum of all the values, but only with the type that says income. I don't need the type that says expense. I don't need the type that says savings because that would not be my income. So what then I would do is like I would go back to my formula. So in my total income, I need to say, okay, fine, I need only income. So I will use this formula called calculate. So if you're learning Power BI, if you're learning DAX, try to understand what calculate is. It is very simple, but yet most versatile formula for Power BI. To be honest, I do 80% of my work with this formula. This is very simple formula, and you can learn this to do a lot of things. So I'm going to say my type is going to be income, and my values I don't want it in decimals. I'll just keep it like this. So just to see what it looks like, I'm gonna drag it up here, and just like this. Okay, it says my income is 1.51 million. Oh, again, I need to change the currency, guys. So I will change it. I will change all the currencies together. Not instead of changing one by one. It's going to take me a lot of time. I will change it one by one. So I know my income, and now I need to understand my expense. So the best way to do that is like instead of writing in the formula, I will just copy this thing. I'm gonna create a new measure. I'm gonna change this to total expense. I'm gonna call this expense. And I will do the same thing now. I'm gonna create on my measure. I'm gonna call it total saving. All right. So let me check if I have the naming right. The income, expense, and savings. Yes, it's right. So I think I have my three formulas. And now what I'm going to do is like, I need, you said you want to see the percentage, is it correct?
Yes.
All right. So your expense percentage is equal to, it's nothing but you're going to divide your expense, total expense. You're going to divide your total expense by total income. That's going to be your expense percentage, isn't it? Simple formulas, not. And you're going to make it percentage. And have my savings percentage. It's going to be my total savings by total income. All right. So before, one more thing to understand when you're creating in a dashboard. So if you have to change the text and font of something, you always change for one particular visual and then copy paste the visual for the reason. So in this case, I know that I need to create 8 boxes like this just because you gave me the idea of the model. So I have 4 KPIs which react to the selection, and I have 4 KPIs, the same KPIs which does not react to the selection. So I need to create 8 boxes like this. So I will just try to fix the size for one box. My category, I don't want to display the name. I will write it separately, and this is too big. I'll probably make it to 32. Clear. So this looks like something I can live with. Maybe I'll make it 28. It's too big. All right. So, and you want the expense percentage. So I'm bringing expense percentage. So you spend 78% for all your database. This is for all of your database on an average. And let's say your savings percentage. Okay, we didn't make this a percentage, so it doesn't look like one. 22 percentage. And in this case, let's look into your data set. It's your net worth. Well, in this case, it's going to be your savings, right? Because you did not add anything like your property, land, gold, or something like that. So if you have that, you could also add it here. But in this case, all your net worth is just going to be the savings, because
The
that's
saving.
the only that's the only thing you got left with. So let's put your net savings here. So I'm going to say it's your total savings. Okay, one thing you might find really weird is it's showing in pounds, because it's the default setting of my Power BI. I'm going to change this to look more Indian. So I'm going to select total expense, total income, total saving, and all your values. It's going to be okay. Select what?
It is still in pound. I think it will fall
Yeah.
back to the original one.
Okay. Wonder what happened there. I mean, this is really
This is one thing
not
which is
very.
inconvenient with Power BI. Yeah, you have to.
Yes, yes, I totally dislike this. I mean, it's I should there should be a well, kind of a thing to filter and find it quickly. And yeah, got it. Finally. All right. So we have stuff like this, but you don't really know what is this, right? So you want to tell this, you want to tell the dashboard needs to tell you what it is. So I'm going to create a small text box. I'm going to call it. So the reason why I don't use the default category values is like it's not customizable to greater extent. So I prefer to use it. So this is my income. So since you have the chance, though, do you like the font size? Do you like the font color, the font
No, I
style?
think this looks okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Normally the stakeholders don't get a chance to say all of this.
Yeah. You're such a nice data analyst. You're asking me for little details. I need to pay you some discount.
Yeah.
Some special bonus.
Oh, thank you. You'll have to wait until the end. Probably you might change your mind.
Yeah, based on your performance, how it goes for next 1 hour or so.
Okay. All right. So we kind of got a first view on what it looks like, right?
This is useful actually. I'm already getting insights that okay, I have 325K worth of saving and I'm still good. I'm not that good. I mean, I'm spending 80% of what I am earning. So I'm
Yeah.
already
And
getting
you
some insights. Yeah.
and you're saying just 22%. So do you have like a savings goal? Maybe we can see if, you know, just to understand if you're meeting your savings goal, or which are the months you didn't meet your savings goal. So do you want to save, like, is there some percentage that you want to save like
Yeah,
every month from?
I'm like I'm reaching my 40s and I have set some saving goal that okay, every year I need
Yeah.
to save this much so that by the time I retire, I can retire at the age of let's say
Yeah.
55 or 50.
Yeah, but as a thumb rule level, I mean, this is something I learned and I apply to myself. So you should save at least 30% of what you earn. That's like
Oh,
a thumb rule. You save at least 30% of what you earn. In the 30%, the 20% should be in the form of investments and in the form of mutual funds or whatever, FDs or whatever stuff like that. The 10% should be your emergency fund out of your
liquid,
monthly income,
liquid like
liquid cash,
cash. Got it.
liquid cash. And that's the fund I apply, and I think it works for universally. So maybe you can try to put a line here somewhere to see if you are meeting your targets. Once you build a chart, maybe we can try that.
Sure.
I think that would be a good exercise. So all right. So the next thing I would build is let me see what I need. Okay, since we have built this part alone now, I will try to build a timeline selection so that you can you can select different
Exactly.
timeline and see if it works. Okay, for the timeline selection, I would need the year, and I'm just going to drag my year here, and I'm going to select I need a slicer, so I'm going to select a slicer. I don't prefer it this way. I like it more horizontal, so I'll change horizontal. So it's going to be somewhere here. Yes, it's here, and you see it's become horizontal now. Since it's quite easily. This is me here. I don't need a title, right? It takes a lot of unwanted space, so I will keep it like this here. So this is my here, and I don't like the background, so I'm going to change the background color a little bit. Okay, where it is? Item, the background, I guess this is the one. Okay, perfect. So, so if you select 2020, you see it's reacting for 2020. So you know how much is your stuff in 2020. And since you said you also need the months, isn't it? So
Yes.
I'm just going to copy paste it simply. It's very easy now. And I'm going to replace this date with date. So I get my, yeah, so I get my months. And one thing I don't like here is the months has a really big format. Maybe we can change the format.
Mm.
Let's go to the model. And this is the date and the year. Uh, do we have a format that's going to work for us? All right, so let's simply select this one and then change it manually. So I can change this manually. In fact, I'm going to say give me month, year. Oops, probably it should be in small. Okay,
Yep.
there we go. This looks better. And I like to see the most recent months in the front. So I would do sort descending. So I would see, I would see from December, so you can select December 20 and see what is the thing that you did in December 20. So this is interactive now. Great. And we say that we want to build something that's not interactive, right? You want to see the all-time stuff. So let me create an all. What I'm going to do is like I'm going to create all these 4 measures, copy and paste it again, and then going to bring it down slightly. And definitely we don't want to display both of this in the equal size, because then what happens is like your eye always gets confused. So I'm going to reduce the size
Yeah.
of this. Let me make it 20, maybe 80. I think this is better. And somewhere it needs to be said it's all time. So I'm going to copy paste this stuff.
Yeah. Copy paste is a very useful technique.
Yeah, definitely.
As a programmer, yeah, if I don't have control C, control V, like my productivity will go down by half.
100% agree with you. I can't agree more to this. All right, so this is sometimes so this kind of so what happens is like sometimes it's not distributed horizontally, so I'm gonna align and distribute this horizontally so it's all distributed correctly. And same thing here. Okay, perfect. Kind of looks okay. All right. So what I said is like I don't want this to be reactive to this thing, and it needs to show all the things. So what I need to do is like I go to edit interactions. I'm saying okay, fine. When I select this thing, I don't want this to react. So I would say don't react, don't react, don't react, and don't react. And the
Okay.
same thing for here. So don't react to my months, don't react
Mm.
to my months, don't react to my months, don't react to my months. So whatever you select here, this will still show the all-time value.
Mm.
That's exactly what we need, I believe. And let me make this slightly the top. And you would still need a thing for title. So I would use the formula for title. So the title is going to be finance dashboard for now. So I use a formula because sometimes I wanna display the month I'm selecting in the title. So in those cases, it's going to be very easy to add. So this is my title. I use a card. I'm going to say it's a category. think it's still too big. Maybe we can keep it 28.
Very good. This is already useful. Like now I know in 2020, my income was 593K and my
Yeah,
overall income for whatever amount of data we have is
yeah,
1.551 million.
yeah. That's interesting, right? I mean, I like this. I like your, uh, I don't want to say I like your money, but I think you are saving quite good.
Yeah. And can you check in 2019? I'm just curious, what was my expense in
Yes,
2019?
yes, we can do that.
Oh, so 2019, my expense was 77%. I'm big. In 2020, I spent 2020. Can you click on that? Oh, see, my
83%.
expenses increased because I'm sitting at
Yeah.
home the whole day and I'm ordering stuff from Amazon online so much.
Well, let's see where exactly is your expense increasing. So that brings me to the next point, right? So you want to see you said you want to see a pie chart, right? But
Yes.
I would recommend you to use a bar chart instead. I will explain you why when I'm doing that. I will create a quick bar chart,
Okay.
and I will tell you why using a bar chart is better.
Sure.
So I'm going to put my components on the axis, and I'm going to put my total expense percentage on the values. So what it gives me, so I will rather put my total expense. All right. So you already know, and I'm going to make this as a percentage of grand total.
Yeah.
And add the data label so you see the percentages. And I don't want the y-axis to be honest, because I know it's a percentage, and I don't want the title either, and I don't want the title on the y-axis either.
Very
Right.
good.
And I don't like the title, so I can write my own title. Right. So you see in 2020 your major expenses is house rent, and the second major expense is your EMIs, which is not really healthy, in my opinion. And you could see how this thing do. And I okay, this is maybe no, sorry. First I will have to clarify why using a pie chart is not the best idea here. So what happens here is, like, here you have like 6 components, right? In this you can easily see the ranking of them, like which is your topmost expense, spend, and second most, third most. In the pie chart, you won't be able to know the first one, two, and three. You have to calculate based on the pie chart. Sometimes the numbers are quite close. The pie is quite close, and you
Ah,
get confused.
so
Yeah, and
can you quickly change this to pie chart? I think if you want to change it to pie chart, you can, so that I can
yes,
compare
I
side
could.
by side. Okay, I see your point, because see that the
Yes.
problem with the pie chart is like some of those smaller pies, like the health and
Mm-hmm.
shopping expenses, those are not very clear. Even even I
Yes.
don't know the percentage of that, right?
Yes.
Like how much is my
Yes.
shopping percentage in this pie chart, but
Yes.
in the bar chart, which is on the left hand side, I have a clear understanding, and I also
Pie
have
chart
a
is really
ordering.
good. Yeah, Python is really good if you're looking for in a presentation. If you have an executive meeting and if you want to put it in a presentation, pie chart is absolutely good, because you can make one slide for a pie chart. That's going to be entirely good. But if you're creating a dashboard, pie chart is not always the greatest idea. So here the components might increase, might have 10 different spending habits, and I,
Hmm,
I can't see all the 10 of them here. But in the bar chart, I would be able to see that. I can just make it
perfect.
bigger, and I would be able to see that. That's the reason why I don't recommend PyTorch for this purpose, at least.
No, good that you told me actually. I
Yeah,
was using pie chart all the time, but I didn't realize until this point. So I like your
yeah,
solution better.
great. Uh, cool. And maybe here what I can offer is since the EMI is 25.1%, you want to know what is the trend, right? Probably it's better to understand what is your EMI spend over years. How does it change over years? How does it change over months? Probably you want to understand that, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm happy to put it here. I can, for example, what I can do is, like, I can totally put a create a trend percentage here, and kind of, I think this would contribute. So if I put a date in the axis, what happens then is you'd exactly see what I was explaining. So and here in the component, I can create one trend for each. So for example, I can select in the trend I want to show only the EMIs. So you would see the EMI trend for 2020. If you just take out all the years, you would see how your EMI is changing over years. This is I think really an eye opener if I'm looking at this. And instead of percentage, I would not put a percentage. I would just just put the total values. So you see.
So here EMI is what? EMI is like monthly recurring payments that I have?
Yes.
Okay, so it could be my car loan, my whatever loan, whatever.
It could be all your mortgages, loans, and your mobile phones probably might have taken an EMI, and
Okay.
let's
So it's a
all
sum of
stuff
all
that
the
you have.
EMIs. Got it.
Yes, yes, it's a sum of all the EMIs. And I don't think we can put it here. It's gonna take like I explained it before. I think we need to go for tooltip.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So what I would do is like I would just take it all. I'll tell you what happens. So I'm gonna copy paste this. This is my fin dashboard. It's gonna be my tooltip one. I'm gonna cut this and paste it here. And I want this page to be my tooltip. So I'm going to change this to tooltip. And I want this page to be filtered by the components. So what I mean is like if I put my mouse over EMI, I want to show only EMI. If I put my mouse over some other expense component, I want to show only that expense component. So what I would do is like I would say, okay, filter this page by the components. So you would see what happens now. And and then I need to change this to the tooltip enabling stuff. It's enabled, okay? And it's going to be tooltip one. All right. So now you see what happens. So if I put my mouse over here, I would see my EMI trend. And if you want to see the health trend, you can also see that. If you want to see the leisure trend over the years, you can also see that. So this gives you an opportunity to identify the patterns, or your spending patterns, to be exact.
Very good. I like this because otherwise in that view, I was just seeing a data for a specific year or month, but
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
that data and I can compare it with my trend, which is very
yes,
helpful.
yes, yes, exactly. And all right. So I mean, you can do two things. For example, if you select 2020, so this will now show data only for 2020. Do
I
you
see.
want to do that, or even after selecting 2020, you still want to see the entire trend? What would you prefer?
I would like to see entire trend.
All right. So what we then need to do is like for the people who are gonna develop this. So you need to say in the page filter, don't keep all the filters. So which would take the filters only from the component, not from anything else. So
Okay.
what I would show now is like even after I selected 2020 now, you would not see the 2020 here. You would see the entire trend.
Very good. Yeah, I like this better.
Got it. So I mean, cool. So let's quickly create. So the best practice is whatever you create, whatever dashboard or whatever visual you create, please make sure you name it immediately because you always live with a sense of purpose of why you're creating this stuff. I would say where and how do I spend? Do you like that?
Yeah.
So I like it more in the form of questions rather than having some boring names like spend
Mm-hmm.
break stuff like that. All right. So you said you want to see your spend on your savings as well, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. So it's going to be very easy. I'm just going to copy paste this. I'll say instead of expense, total saving. I don't want to take it too much space. And I'll slightly change the color so that you differentiate between your spend and saving. So I think your spend should have a slightly alarming color. So I would go for like this one. Do you think this is too bright? I think it's too bright.
Too bright, yeah. Maybe some purplish, dark purplish type of color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks better.
All right. And this, I think I can keep it like it is. I mean, you could play a lot with the font sizing here and there. So
Mm-hmm.
since I don't want to cover all of that, that might keep you really boring. But I would do that in my. So I mean, this won't be the final version that I hand over it to you. And for the purpose of the session, let's keep it that way. But you would still need to do a lot of fine tuning. You need to still make the background look appealing. A lot of other stuff which comes in the later part. But if you're going to hand over this as a rough draft to the stakeholder, I think the stakeholder will be really happy to see that.
Yep.
All right, so this is my saving habit, saving pattern. And I think we need to do a similar thing for the saving also, right? So I will create a tweet two. And instead of spending here, expense, I will put total saving. So you see your saving pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And in this visual, so this you can hide from the stakeholder so that the stakeholder doesn't have to see all these pages.
I see. Okay.
And my tooltip is going to be tooltip 2. So now you can understand your saving trend as well. For example, you know how much your fixed deposit. Oh my God! So you stopped in the month of January, in the month of December, January, and February 2020. You have stopped your fixed deposit. That's what the data says. As you could
Oh,
see,
wow.
the zeros there, like you have broken your fixed deposit. Probably that's likely the case. That's something alarming. You should be taking care of that, and also the emergency fund. You are not consistent with that. Like you have kept your emergency fund as 2,000. So even though your salary has increased, you haven't changed your emergency fund. You have kept it constant, and even with the thing, you have stopped doing the emergency funds. So yeah, that's interesting.
Wow. I need to learn some financial discipline. It's good that you're showing me it. After this session, I need to start working on it.
Yeah, and look at your liquid cash. I mean, like you are not consistent in keeping liquid cash. Sometimes you have even gone to that's okay. All right.
25K. At some point, I had 25K. Now my liquid sense cash is 0.5K. So if I have some
Yeah,
emergency expense, I will have to borrow it from my friends.
yeah,
I need to
yeah.
have a lot
That's
of
okay.
rich friends like you, Hemanand, by the way.
No, you should see my dashboard. You haven't seen mine. Probably not change your word. All right, all right. Interesting, very interesting stuff so far. Okay, great. So we said that we want to. What else do you want to do?
So now I want to have some kind of a trend chart which shows me as my income is increasing, whether my savings are increasing or not. Because as I said, like I have a lot of bad habits. So as my increase, if I get a bonus, I have a habit of spending money, but I want to actually increase my saving. So yeah, that top right, that trend chart kind of thing.
Got it. So I think what we need to calculate is your. Let's see. First of all, let's understand how is your income changing over the month, or over the years. I think that would be important to understand. So I'll create some new measures. Let's call it. Since I want to calculate your income change month on month. So I will create a measure called income last month, so that I would know what is your income last month based on the current month. So for example, if I select December 2020, this measure will show me the income of November 2020. So if I select November 2020, it will show me the income of October 2020. So it always shows the relative last month in comparison. How to do this? So it always starts with the total income. So you have the total income. And like I said, calculate comes to the play here. So use calculate and say, I want to change the date here. So there is a measure called date at, and you say which is your date column. So just follow the syntax. Just go to the date column and say for the people who are watching. So I mean, to be honest, I don't remember most of the measures. These are the measures I use often. That's why I remember. But if I don't understand or remember any measure, I would more often than not I would go to Google, and then there is an answer for that. So that's an easy way to do it. So you don't have to remember all of this stuff here. So it's totally not necessary. And my number of intervals is -1 since I want to see the last month, and I'm going to say it's a month. Clear. So I got my income last month. Sorry, I think there is a description there. Do you see my screen still?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, but I think the power gone from my screen here, so I need to change the laptop. So I think maybe you can pause the video for a second.
Sure. 3.
So I'm not recording. Is it fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. All right. So you wanted to see a kind of your the month-on-month change. So let's say that to calculate the income last month. So it always gives you the income last month, and you want to calculate the income month-on-month percentage, income change month-on-month percentage. So what this is going to be is you're going to divide your income total income by income last month. So that gives you, for example, your income this month is let's say 150 rupees, and last month it's 100 rupees. So you would get as an 150 percentage. And what I would keep, let's keep like this. And I would make this a percentage. Right. So, and I'm going to open the visualization. Right. So I'll go for line chart. I'll put my expense percentage, my savings percentage, and also my income change month on month. As you could just see the dots, you need to put the date. There you go. I'm going to take out my title, we don't need it. I'm going to take out, probably I would put my legends on the right. Oh, I think top is better. And I don't need my y-axis title. I need my x-axis title as well. All right, so let's see. I want to keep your income color more stronger, so I would just make this one and change this to this one. And I'll probably need to maintain the color code. So since our savings is this color and your it's more purplish, so let's maintain the same color code here. And so what it could give you though? I mean, let me take it out and see the trend for the entire month. So as you rightly pointed out, so there are several peaks in your income. So there are several months in which your income has increased. So let me make this into a bigger screen. Let me go to the focus mode so I really can analyze this. And you see that what happened is like so this month your income increased, your expense also increased, but your savings decreased. This is not the right pattern. If you ask me, like if I'm spending according to my income, you're not according to the data. And what else I could find? I find one more thing really funny, interesting. So here you can see in January 2020, you got a hike of 20%, or your income increased 20%. Let's put it that way. And he probably knew that your income is going to increase, and you started spending like crazy in the month of December itself. So your expense grew from 79% per month to 99% in
Yes.
December, and you could see that had a severe impact on your savings. So your
Mm-hmm.
savings was, you had 21% savings. That's something, and
Mm-hmm.
and it went to 1%. So probably you stopped doing all your FDs. You stopped doing all your EMIs. Sorry, you stopped doing all your mutual funds. I'm not sure, which we can see here. If I go to this one, if I click my graph here, you could see what how much the percentages have changed in different things.
Hmm. I see.
Yeah. So
Although I liked it very much, you are exposing all my bad habits to the world. No, but this is good. Sometimes, I
well,
have this habit and I don't know about it, but at least these charts are accurately showing me the truth.
yes, yes, and this is interesting for me. What is more interesting? So let's say your average mutual fund spend is 71.58%. That's your average for the
Hmm.
for all time.
Hmm.
This month, what happened? Let's see. And your average emergency is 14.4. Your fixed deposit is 13.67. On this crazy month in December 2020, you did not do any mutual fund. You did not do any emergency. You did not do any fixed deposit.
Hmm.
You just get some liquid cash, and that's just 1% of your savings. That's something to look forward. I mean, really look and I also want to understand. If I were you, I would like to understand. I would like to fix a savings target, like let's say 25%, because that's the closest to your average. And if you want to improve something, the
Hmm.
first thing is to measure it. So you're measuring your savings percentage. And let's say in the year 2021, the year that just started, you want to have your savings percentage as 25%.
Hmm.
How are you going to measure it?
Uh,
So I
yeah, if I have in the same chart, if I have some kind of target line which I can compare against,
you
that
are
might be
you are
helpful.
you are you are really into the finance thing discipline. I get that. So
I know all the
what?
principles, I just don't follow them.
Hmm. All right. So I'm going to create a dummy measure called savings target. It's a very simple measure. Savings target is equal to um, let's say 0.25, which is 25%. I'm going to say it's a percentage, and I'm simply going to put this values in here. As you could see, there are months you have crossed the target, and there are months you are much below the target.
Hmm.
So if you go to the focus mode, you can see the gap. I mean, you're there. It's not that you're not there. You're very close to 25%, 24%. But I guess you can achieve your target, for the given year by just following some of the principles. And let me change the color of the savings. It's looking very odd. Target. It's gonna be something. All right. I mean, you can change. This is definitely not the best design. You can change the length of this thing, the stroke width, and all those things. I mean, for people who are gonna do this, you can totally change that. All right. So where does it put you down? I mean, what could you make out of this so far? I mean, like I said, the best practice.
Yeah, so now I have my target line, which is my goal for my savings. So my
Hmm.
percentage savings should never go beyond that line. It should be always up.
Yeah. So this answers the question: do I spend or save according to what I earn? Yeah. Good point. So, all right. So you can, I mean, this is real motivation for you to keep your savings percentage above the line, and maybe you can also that puts your expense target to 75%. So you should always spend less than 75%. You can do it either way. It's the same. And the other way is like The other way is like maybe you can think in terms of increasing your income. Maybe you can have like a third source of your income, and then increase your income so that you will be able to save more or spend more. Maybe you have a genuine spending reason. You might have to spend for something like an education, or you might want to invest in yourself to learn some course. It could be anything, so it can be a genuine course as well. So it's not, spending is always not bad. Let's put it that way. You always have to have a right allocation for what you're spending and things. I think that's what
Yep.
would work. Great. So as we say that you want to see like kind of a details in the sheet. So that's easy thing to do. So I'm gonna put my thing in here. I'm gonna put all my values, and I'm gonna make this is gonna be my year in the columns, and I'm gonna have components, and on top of it I'm gonna have type. So if I split it out, I would know what is my income year on year, how it has changed year on year, all my components, how it has changed year on year. I would know all my EMIs, how it changed year on year. So I get a very clear view of the overall picture. And if I focus on one particular year, either via clicking here, or if I'm, I just want to focus on this point here, which has a peak, I would exactly see that point, exactly the point which I click on in my graph. So I guess
This
that's not
table
going
is
to be,
extremely useful. The only feedback
yeah,
I have is, can I move the income at the top, like the income category?
yes, you can. Yeah, I mean, normally this is very easy to do, but since we have built a model in such a way, let's see.
Hmm.
Okay, we don't have an order. We haven't defined an order for what is going to be
I see.
what is going to come first and what is going to come second. I would do a simple easy thing here to make it easy. So I'll create a quick table. I'm going to call it my site, and I would say uh, site here as well, an order number. So this is, this might look like an extra step, but if you have like big models, or if you have like semantic, if you want to create some semantic models, this is the best way to do it. So you want to keep your income first. And what is the second thing you want to see? Is it your expense or savings?
Expense. Yeah.
Expense.
Yeah. It's like a
But
simple math. It's income minus expense equal to saving. That kind of
yeah,
thing.
can I suggest here something, Devil?
Okay.
This is again the concept of the financial discipline that I apply to myself. I think it should be more like an income, saving, and then expense. Because if you should, people normally have the mentality like they have an income and they spend and the rest they save. Probably it should be the other way. They should have an income, they should save, and the rest should be up for spending.
I think that's a good point. So
Yeah,
it's a good way of developing the right mindset
yeah,
actually. So yeah, I like
exactly.
that.
So let's put savings second and expense third. So just be mindful. The name should be exactly same as what you have in the type, so that
Hmm.
you can make a connection between these two tables.
Okay.
I'm going to load this, and yeah, as you could see, since I have the right names, it kind of did an automatic connection. I don't have to do the
Mm,
connection.
very good.
And so what I would do, I would just simply replace the type in here with this type, with the type from the type table that I've created.
Hmm.
And I'm going to say in the type table, in my type table, I will go to the model and say, just sort it according to the order number.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if I come back now, it will have been already sorted.
Perfect. This looks awesome.
And let me put it this way. Where is it? Okay. So I don't really like the way it looks now. So I'm going to change the type. I'm going to change the style to no style. This
Hmm.
is still better. And yeah, that's that's what it is. And and let's say that you have years. You can also add your date here. So if you want to break it down to the dates, you could also do that. There is an option to do that. So I'm going to select just dates, not the entire hierarchy. And let's say I've selected 2020, and I want to break it down to the months.
Hmm.
So let's say I want to break it down to the months. I'm going to say column, drill on the columns, and show me the months beneath it. I would see the month. That's
Wow, this is so
that's that's
powerful.
yeah, that's really powerful. This kind of gives you a glimpse or kind of a thing that you want to look at immediately on the top level.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
So I would go back to the columns and say, okay, that's fine. Let me see the years. Cool. I mean, you could do a lot of additions now. I mean, this dashboard I can keep developing for next 5 to 6 hours if it is my own space. I would, a few of the things I would add is like I would add how my you know, once I have this view, the split view, I want to highlight the months. I want to highlight the areas where the months where I haven't met the target of 25% savings. So
Hmm.
that gives me an overview. I can create a conditional formatting saying, okay, show me the months which does not have the 25% target, or I can have a bar in the top. I can drag the bar and say, okay, for 25%, show me this, or I can change it to 30% and see the ones that doesn't meet 30% target, or I can drag it to 20% and see the ones that doesn't meet 20% target. I could do different things like that. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity in here. And coming back to the best practice, I'm gonna change this. So what would you call this last piece? Do we call it like a detailed statement,
Detailed statement,
or
yeah. Yep.
yeah, this is more like your P&L, right?
Hmm. So now, I'm just curious. So this looks good
Mhm.
so far. Did we do our net worth like see, right now it says my net worth is 99K, but I want to
Mhm.
see kind of a time chart of how my net worth is growing over years.
All right. So you want, if I understand it correctly, you want like, let's say that in the month of January 2020 had 99,000, in February had 105,000, in that sort of stuff, like how
Yes,
like the cumulative total.
yes,
All right,
yes,
yeah, we can do that. But I mean, one thing I can say straight away is like, I don't think there is any way to show it here. Can you show it like a tooltip?
yes. That would work. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like I told before, I don't have this formula right in the top of my head. So I would
Okay.
just go to
No,
I
but
would
I
just
think
simply.
all right. So go ahead. So to understand my question, so we have 99K net worth generated. So I
Mhm.
think you are going to build a tooltip when I hover my mouse cursor over,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it will just show me the graph. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
got it.
Yes. And what I want to build is I want to build a formula for the cumulative total. Yeah, it is a formula that I use very often, but I don't entirely exactly remember the syntax of the same. So what I would do is like when I'm in doubt, I always double check the formula. So let me. It's always easy to find cumulative. Okay, cumulative running total in Power BI. Yeah, I have visited this page before. Yeah. Okay. So this is like kind of the formula.
Hmm.
I'm just going to copy paste this. Cumulative net worth. So in our case, the net worth is nothing but what? It's going to be total savings, right?
Hmm.
Total saving, and the date. So they are using a date key here. My date key is, I'm going to type date, so I will get it. So date, and it's the same thing here. I have to replace that with my date column. So I would like to explain how this formula works, but it might not be the right time now. But if you think about it, what it is all doing is like it's filtering the data with only it's calculating only until the previous row. For example, it will calculate only until the previous row for March, and the next row, when it comes to it, it will add the data of the next row. So you will have the cumulative value all the time. I will show it shortly how it looks in the Hopefully it works. I'm going to accumulate net value is a currency. I don't want maybe one decimal, and I want it. Oh, this is again going to be the hardest part. And man, okay, this time I'm gonna use Hindi.
In
Cool.
the India, yeah.
All right, hopefully it works. So let's take it a new page. You know how it works. So I just put this formula in here, and I'm gonna put the date column, and you would see it. Okay, uh, by looking at this like this, I can't say if it is working correctly. So what I need to do is like to put my total savings formula. Okay, now I'm sure this works correctly because
Hmm.
in January 18, I saved 10,000, right?
Hmm.
And my net worth is 10,000. In February 18, I saved 9,000. My net worth is 10,000 plus 9,000 is 19,000. In
Hmm.
March, I saved 10,000, so it's 10 plus 9 plus 10, 29. So you could see it's
Yeah,
developing.
it's working correctly. Yes.
It's working correctly. So since we got the formula already, it's just a click away to get it like a graph, like this one. You mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Is it something you look for?
Yes, yes.
All right. So what then we need to do is one more thing is like to have the data labels because otherwise you wouldn't know. So perfect. And don't think you need the y-axis. Also the title, and don't think you need the x-axis title as well. All right. I think we are done. So I will change this page to tooltips. Page information, change it to tooltip. This is the tooltip now, and I'm going to call this tooltip 3. I'm going to hide this page. The title, I can change it. So it says cumulative net worth by date, but I can change this to cumulative net. I'm going to change this to my net worth strength. All right. And do you want to compare this against your income? Could that be interesting? Shall we try?
Yeah, yeah. Let's try it.
I'm not sure. I'm just going to put this here now and see if it is looking good. No, it's no, it's
Hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
not a nice picture. Got it. So yeah, let's keep it this way and see how it looks. So do you want the tooltip here or in the total all time?
In the net worth, I would like to see the tooltip. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will have to say this is a tooltip. Show me the tooltip 3. I'm done. And I think the same for here as well.
Yeah. Both the places would be good.
All right. So if you just put your mouse now, it should be showing you the net my net
Amazing.
worth trend
This is great.
for
This way I know like where my network is growing. Like if I'm
yeah
accumulating a lot of debt and all, if my
yeah
network is going down,
yeah
I know actually where I'm standing in terms of financial health.
yes yeah. I think that should be really interesting. Cool.
One more thing I always like to see, because I use
Mhm.
this platform called mint.com
Yeah.
where they show this income versus expense monthly bar chart. So is that
Okay.
something we can do here as well in form of a tooltip?
Totally. Yeah. Totally. I mean, it's gonna be very easy. I'm gonna
Sorry,
copy
I'm throwing a lot
paste.
of requirements at you.
Oh, that's fine. You're helping me to keep my job, so that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's put it this way. And oh my God, this is too crazy to look at. I'm gonna change the total expense uh, and my income. So let sorry, I haven't confirmed with you. Is this something that you're looking to, like looking for?
Yes, like
like
where I
something
can
like,
see, yeah, for
yeah,
example, here my, yeah, this is good because this way, my income versus expense, like side by side,
yes,
they're compared.
yeah, yeah. And do you also like to see like a line that shows your savings percentage?
Yeah, let's see how that might look like.
All right.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, so you can see, oh, that's interesting to me. Like you have a secondary axis
Hmm.
and you see your savings percentage is not, I mean, your income is great when you compare it from where you started to now. Your income has grown like good, I think, steady growth in your income. But your savings percentage is not really good. You know,
Yeah.
it started really good. You started at 32% saving. Normally, the graph is like this for people. You know, they start at 20% saving, they increase the saving 25, 27, 28, 29. But this would definitely concern me, and I would see, you know, why I'm not saving well, or where I'm spending more, or or should I increase my income and then, you know, put my savings back to 32%. That's so if you had saved 32% now, your net worth would have been, I think, much more. You would have
Yeah.
you would have had like so currently you are having 3,25,000. You probably would have had like 30% of your total income, which is 115 lakhs. You would have had 5 lakhs. You would have had
Hmm.
5.6, 5.2 lakhs. So you already lost like 2 lakhs there because of
Hmm.
your inconsistent saving
I should
habits.
have consulted you like 2 years back. This is the
I'm,
reason people spend money in data analytics. Like it's like a clear ROI. So if I had consulted you
yes,
few years, 2 years back, and if I had given you your charge, your fees at that time, I would have ended up saving a lot of money. So
yeah,
you all can visualize like the descriptive analysis helps you make a decision, which in turns
yes,
help you gain money back. So it's a worth investment building this kind of dashboards.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is interesting. I mean, what it has turned out to be now, and what would probably change the title. I mean, there are a lot of improvements, guys, like viewers who are looking into this. You can change this in multiple ways. You know, you can add the month that you've selected here, and you can make this visualization. You know, I know this is a really boring visualization, but you can really make it even more you know, attractive and appealing. And there are a lot of things to be added here. And like I said, so we want to keep this session to a point where we want to pin the interest to the users so that they can start, you know, so the viewers, so that they can start learning. I mean, the learners, they definitely need to have a starting point. And it also comes to the purpose of, you know, like people asking me to kind of where to find the data source and stuff like that. So create your own data source. This is your own data. And this is something that's going to be useful. And this is something that's going to be consistent. It's not like a project that you worked no one-off thing and you stop doing it. This is something you're going to do every month. You're going to keep tab on it every month. You're going to improve every month. So going to be really interesting on you know, on what users going to do, and what they're going to submit. Would be very interesting to see.
Perfect. Yeah. So Hemanan, thank you again. Thank you very much for spending your valuable times, everyone. Yeah, Hemanan came up with this idea. He contacted me and we ended up building this awesome dashboard. In the next part of the video, I'm going to announce some giveaway and I'm going to give you some assignment as well. So we'll announce that later. But till then, like Hemang, you have any final thoughts before we close this session?
No, I, I mean, I think this is something that everybody should try their hands on. And of course, if you have any questions, or I would like to, you know, we would like to see your submissions. Like you can probably Dawal will announce on that. Like you can tag us in LinkedIn and, you know, put your submissions, and, you know, I mean, not exactly like how it is here. Maybe you can be more innovative. You can add a few more customizations to it, and you know, go a little bit, go a step ahead, drive an extra mile, and to bring your own thoughts into that. That would be really awesome to see. And hopefully this would help all of you, especially Dawal. I hope this would help you. And do you have anything more to add? I mean, sorry, I didn't ask you. Do you think this is quite there?
No, this as a phase one looks perfect. So now
Cool.
that you in a real life scenario, like I am your client, you will give me this dashboard. I will probably use it for a
Yes,
month or 2 months, and
yes,
then maybe I will have a feedback. But as a
yes,
first cut, this looks perfect. We already got so much insights, you know, from this.
Yes.
So I will
Yes.
start using it, and then as I have feedback, you know, I will contact you. You're my data analyst. You will keep on making improvement, phase 2, phase 3, until it becomes really mature. And once it is in a maturity phase, I can just keep on using it for like number of years.
Yeah, this is definitely alpha testing that you would have the dashboard. And let's see what the learners, they might come up with a lot of feedback. I'm sure they are really, interested and curious people. So they would have a lot of feedback on what we have done. Maybe there's a better way to do even what we have done. So I'm really looking forward to that. And like I said, though, this is really, very, very interesting for me to collaborate with you and do this stuff. So it's really great so that could make use of the skills that I've acquired to help some people to learn, and that's something really beautiful.
Perfect. All right. Thank you. I'll stop recording now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now is the time for the giveaway. So you have learned how to build your own personal finance dashboard, but this dashboard is it didn't cover all the features. So we want you to come up with some new ideas on how you can effectively build a dashboard for your own personal finances and what other controls you can add it. So maybe you can take the same dashboard that we built and you can add some additional measures, some additional metrics into it, and build some cool visualization. And once you have done that, post that project in a LinkedIn, and also post in a video comment below. In the video comment below, post a link of your LinkedIn post, and in that LinkedIn post, please tag my name and Hemanand's name. So my name, I'm gonna put my and Hemanand's LinkedIn profile in the video description below. So you can tag me and Heman, and also you put in a video comment below the link of that LinkedIn post so that we will evaluate. So this giveaway will be open till February 2021, and on 1st March we will start evaluating the projects, and the first 3 project winners will get 1000 rupees Amazon voucher with which you can buy whatever you like. So again, just to quickly cover rules, in the video comment below, put your LinkedIn post link, and in the LinkedIn you post the dashboard that you have built and you tag me and Hemanand. That way we can look into your dashboard. That dashboard needs to have some creative, some effective ideas on how one can manage his or her personal finances, like the kind of things that which we might not have covered in this video. Okay, so do that. On 1st March 2021 we'll start evaluating it. I hope you're liking this video, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. This is all free education. Share it through WhatsApp, LinkedIn, so that maximum people can take benefit of this data analytics project. Thank you.